Dexter Morgan is one of modern television's most compelling and polarizing characters, a forensic blood spatter analyst by day and a vigilante serial killer by night. Dexter, who is portrayed by Michael C. Hall, captivates audiences with his complex morality, internal struggles, and paradoxical humanity. His compelling nature stems from his layered characterization, the tension between his dark passenger and his desire for connection, and the universal themes of identity, control, and morality that his story explores. Fans find Dexter relatable not because they share his violent impulses, but because his journey reflects the human experience of grappling with inner demons, societal masks, and the search for meaning. So today, let's explore what makes Dexter Morgan such a compelling character. I'm Pamela, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing one of my favorite fictional characters of all time, Dexter Morgan. Dexter is definitely a very layered and contradictory character, and I think his appeal lies in his intricate duality. On the surface, he's charming, he's a socially adept professional who blends seamlessly into Miami's bustling society. But beneath this facade is a man driven by an insatiable urge to kill, a compulsion that he channels into eliminating criminals who escape justice. And this juxtaposition of normalcy and darkness creates a very interesting tension. Dexter is neither a traditional hero nor a conventional villain. He exists in this moral gray zone that challenges viewers to question their own ethical boundaries. His adherence to Harry's code, which is a set of rules taught by his father to target only those who deserve it, adds further complexity as it frames his killings as a warped form of justice. And I do think that the show's use of Dexter's inner monologue enhances his depth and gives the audience direct access to his thoughts. And through these introspections, we see his self-awareness, his humor, his vulnerability, and he acknowledges his detachment from human emotions, yet he yearns to understand them, which does make him this sort of tragic character. For example, in season 1, Dexter says, "I don't have feelings about anything, but if I could have feelings at all, I'd have them for Deb." And this glimpse into his longing for connection definitely humanizes him, which does make this potential monster into a character viewers can root for, despite his actions. The personification of Dexter's violent urges with his dark passenger is a struggle that sort of resonates with audiences. While most people don't grapple with homicidal impulses, the concept of wrestling with an inner darkness is definitely relatable. Whether it's anger, self-doubt, addiction, many viewers recognize the great effort it takes to suppress or redirect destructive tendencies. Dexter's meticulous rituals, from his kill rooms to his cover stories, show the lengths that he goes to maintain this control, which does sort of mirror how people manage their own flaws to fit into society. Dexter is always on a quest for identity. He constantly questions who he is. Is he a monster, a protector, a brother, a father? Harry Morgan shaped him into a killer with purpose, but Dexter struggles to define himself beyond this role. This search for his identity mirrors the human experience of navigating societal expectations versus personal desires. I think fans can definitely relate to Dexter's fear of being truly seen, since he hides his authentic self behind a carefully crafted persona. And his relationships with his sister Deb, his wife Rita, and later his son Harrison force him to confront whether or not he can transcend his darkness, which is a question that echoes the universal hope for redemption. And I do think Dexter's moral ambiguity is a key reason that fans are drawn to him. The fact that he targets murderers and other sick criminals, Dexter sort of makes himself an avenger of justice, operating outside of a flawed legal system. And this vigilantism of his definitely sparks empathy for his character in a world where justice is often elusive. And viewers may find themselves cheering when Dexter disposes of a heinous criminal, but only to grapple with the discomfort of endorsing murder. And I think this moral tension forces audiences to confront their own values, making Dexter a catalyst for introspection. And the show's exploration of morality extends to Dexter's relationships. His love for Deb, Rita, and Harrison reveals his capacity for empathy, challenging the idea that he's just a monster. Yet his actions do often harm those he cares about, underscoring the consequences of his choices. And I think fans can sort of relate to this paradox, the desire to be good while inevitably falling short. Dexter's failures and triumphs as a brother, a partner, and a father definitely humanize him, which I think allows viewers to see parts of themselves in his imperfections. And I think at its core, Dexter's story is about the human condition. His struggle to balance his darker impulses with his desire for connection reflects the universal tension between individuality and conformity. His fear of exposure speaks to the anxiety of being judged for one's true self. And I think his evolution from a detached killer to a man sort of seeking redemption implies the hope that people can change, even when burdened by their past. I think fans can also kind of connect with Dexter's isolation. Despite his charisma, he feels fundamentally alone, believing no one can understand his true nature. And I do think it's interesting that when he does finally find someone who does sort of accept him for who he is, he always ends up leaving them or killing them. Lila accepted him for who he was, but he ended up killing her. Hannah accepted him for who he was, but he left her. But I do think Dexter's attempts to forge bonds reflect the human need for love and acceptance. I think Dexter is a compelling character because he embodies the contradictions inherent in the human experience. His duality as a killer and a man seeking connection, his battle for control, and his moral ambiguity create a character who is both larger than life, but also deeply relatable. I think fans are drawn to Dexter not because they condone his actions, but because his struggles mirror their own. The fight against inner flaws, the search for identity, and the hope for redemption. Through Dexter, viewers explore the gray areas of morality and the complexities of being human, making him a character who lingers in the minds long after the credits roll. His story reminds us that even in our darkest moments, the desire to be more, to be better, defines who we are. I mean, here we are almost 20 years later, still getting more Dexter content. This is one of the most popular shows of all time, and they're still making more episodes, and I think that says a lot with how fans can relate to Dexter. But please let me know your thoughts, leave a comment down below. Do you find Dexter a relatable character, despite the fact that he is a serial killer? Please also give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and definitely turn on all notifications so that you don't miss out on future Dexter content. Please also go follow me over on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and I will see you guys next time.